We are starting our new packet today. Our new packet is on angles and triangles. This is the 6th unit that we will be working on. Like always, let's just kind of look at the first few pages of our packet. You will notice we have our standards. This is what you're expected to know by the time we are finished with this unit. All of our new vocab, some common mistakes and misconceptions that you can read through. This is a shorter unit. We do not have a ton of lessons. I think there's only 5 lessons in this unit. We do have a couple of mini quizzes, you'll notice, mini quizzes, and then 1 unit test. We do have our cheat sheet for you, but we're going to go ahead and get started with our very first lesson. All right, today we're talking about complementary and supplementary angles. You will need a protractor today. I do have them located on my front table, so if you would grab one, please go ahead and do so. You can pause this video for a second while you take a minute and go grab that. We are going to be measuring some angles. Now when we label an angle, we use the angle symbol in capital letters, and we always use 3 capital letters. The middle letter is something called your vertex. So this right here, A, B, C, would be this entire angle right here, the whole big angle. And B is the middle number. That's how we define our angle. So in this case right here, this would be angle A, B, D. It would just be this angle right here. Where again, B is the middle. That's your vertex. That's your middle angle, and we need to make sure we write that down. So the first one is angle A, B, C. Well, if you know how to use a protractor, the vertex lines up with the center, and the lines, you see these lines underneath, they line up with the line underneath. Anytime you have exactly a straight angle like this, it is going to be 180 degrees. So that is what a straight angle is called. And it always measures 180 degrees. If I have angle A, B, D, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to line up our circle, line up our lines. And now if you notice, there's 2 numbers you can choose from. There's the inside numbers and then there's the outside. Well, this angle is less than 90 degrees, so we need to measure the smaller ones. So if you see where it goes through, our options are either going to be 45 or 135. So in this case, you know, you can tell it's smaller than 90, so it should be a 45 degree angle. Next we have E, B, F. So it's just this angle right here. This is what we're looking for this time. So you're going to take your protractor and you're going to line it up on one of the angles here. The center is still on that. Make sure your line is lined up. And we're going to go from here. Now our options are either going to be 150 or 30. Well, this makes sense. It would be a 30 degree angle because it's much smaller than 90 degrees. Now we have angle D, B, C. So it's this angle. DBC. All right, I'm going to line it up on the bottom. My circle's going to line up. My line is going to line up. I'm going to go over here, follow it all along. It gets to about 135 degrees. And then my last one is DBE. See, I haven't used this color, so it would be this angle right here. DBE, and again, I can line it up this way if I want, or the other way. I'm going to go here. So now I have 10. I'm using my outside numbers, and it looks like it goes right to 60 degrees. Okay. Now, it is asking us, what is the sum of A, B, D? Well, A, B, D was 45, and D, B, C, which was 135. Now, A, B, D is this portion right here, so I'll color it in. That's A, B, D. And D, B, C is the rest of the way. So if you notice, it makes that half a circle when you add them together. And if you add these up, it should equal 180 degrees, because the whole thing, if you put them together, it makes a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. Okay? That's something we're going to be talking about today. When you have two angles and you add them together and they equal 180, that is a supplementary angle. Now when you have two angles and you add them together and you get 90, that's complementary. But we'll go into that a little bit more in a second. All right, looking at this, an acute angle. An acute angle is an angle that measures less than 90 degrees. An example up here would be A, B, D. So again, we put our angle sign, capital letters, A, B, D. We could also say D, B, E. We could say E, B, F. We could say F, B, C. Those are all examples that we could have written. Okay, those are all acute angles, or angles that are less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle that measures between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So if you look up here, angle A, B, E, so right here, A, B, E, this one would be 1. We could also have D, B, C, or we could have had A, B, F. Those all would have been examples as well. Okay? A right angle is an angle that measures exactly 90 degrees. So looking up here, D, B, F, right here, angle D, B, F is the only one above that is exactly 90 degrees. A straight angle is an angle that measures exactly 180 degrees. So the angle that we could say would be A, B, C. Now I could have also said angle C, B, A. As long as B is in the middle, it doesn't matter the order of the A and the C. Complementary angles are a pair of angles, so it says pair, so that means it has to be two angles that have a sum, so a sum is when you add them, a sum of 90 degrees. So if I take angle DBE, so angle DBE, and I add that to angle EBF, those two angles up here above, so angle DBE and EBF, if I put them together, I would get 90 degrees. So that makes it a complementary angle. Now supplementary angles, again a pair, so you have two angles that have a sum, so you're adding. This time it has to be 180 degrees. So there's a few. I could say like angle A, B, D, and angle D, B, C. So A, B, D, D, B, C, if I put those two together, they would equal 180 degrees. So those are supplementary angles. Again, this is an important page for you to look back at, these definitions, if you're not quite sure what some of those terms mean. We'll continue on. All right, in our next example, it says use your understanding of angle relationships to set up an equation to solve for the missing angle measure. All right, so we know that these two angles right here, 136 and whatever this angle is that I don't know, they have to equal 180 when you add them together because they make a straight line. So my equation would say 136 plus x equals 180. That's my equation because I know together they are supplementary or they equal 180 degrees. So to figure out the missing angle, which is Kij, all I need to do to both sides is say minus 136, minus 136, and that leaves me with 44 degrees, and that's the missing angle. In this one, what is the measure of angle ABE? Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand right here, if you see this square, that means it is a right angle, so it has to be 90 degrees. If I take all three of these angles and add them together, it makes a straight line, so we know it has to equal 180 degrees. So I can add these two together. If I say 90 plus 38 plus, I'm just going to say x because I don't know what this is yet. That's my x. I will get 180. So again, if I add these two together, I get 128. So that's what I need to subtract on both sides. That cancels both of those out, and that means my missing angle would be 52 degrees. Use the diagram below to mark each statement as true or false. Okay, angle ABD, which is 25 degrees, and angle EBF, which is 65 degrees, are complementary. Well, if I add those two together, does it give me 90? Yes, it does, so that's true. Angle DBE measures 50. Well, we know 1, 2, 3, 4 angles, all of them together have to equal 180. So this right here, if I take these two, I get 105. 105 plus 25 is 130. So that means this has to be 50. So that has to be true because they all have to equal 180. Angle FBC is acute. Is FBC less than 90 degrees? Yes, it is. So that is true. ABF, well, and EBC are supplementary. So ABF goes all the way to here. EBC goes right here. You cannot add those two together and get 180. Okay, because that's in both of them. So this one is false. That one is not true. All right, number 4. Angles A and B are supplementary angles. Find the measure of angle, or the measure of angle A is 42. Find the measure of angle B. Supplementary means you take the two angles, so you're going to say x plus 42, because that's what you have, or you could make that B. That has to equal 180. That's what supplementary means. To solve, just subtract 42 on both sides. Those cancel. Your missing angle is going to be 138, and because these are angles, we put the little degree symbol. The measure of angle C is 12. Angles C and D are complementary. So we're going to say x plus 12 equals 90. Because complementary means they are 90, you subtract 12 on both sides in order to solve. Your missing angle is 78 degrees. Angle F and angle G are complementary. Angle F measures 4x plus 5 and angle G measures 15. Okay, so it tells you that these two angles, F and G, they equal 90. But it says that angle F, this is angle F, 4x plus 5, and then you have to add 15 because that's angle G, and it says those two angles, so this is angle F, this is angle G, Together they are complementary, so they equal 90 degrees. So now we have to just solve this equation by combining our like terms. So I only have 4x. 15 plus 5 is 20, so I'm going to say minus 20, minus 20, and I get 70 degrees. Now if I have to divide both of these by 4, I get x being, well, 70 divided by 4 is 17.5. So that is my x value. All right, so now if I want both of these, the measure of angle G, well, it told us. Angle G is 15 degrees. We knew that from up here. Now angle F, you have to say 4 times 17.5, so that gives me 70, and then plus 5, so it would be 75 degrees. If my computer freezes, it will catch back up eventually. 3 students were asked to sketch a diagram that includes an angle measure of 60 degrees. Circle the names of any students who correctly completed this task. So you would need your protractor, or you can just take a look. If this one is 120, this one has to be 60 because together they equal 180. So that one is true. If this one is 20, this one has to be 70 because of this square telling you it's right, so they have to equal 90. So nope, didn't do it right. If this is 95 and this is 25, if I add those together, I get 120 right here. This equals 120. So the missing amount has to be 60 because altogether it equals 180. So that would be correct. All right, that is your basics on your complementary and supplementary angles. Your homework today is the following. You have homework number 1, which is right here. And then I do want you to get started on the solve and color page as well. This one right here, you're just solving for the missing angle. So if this is 101, you know the whole thing has to be 180. So it says to write an equation. So x plus 101 equals 180. So when you solve, you would subtract 101 from both sides, and x would equal 79 degrees. Now go ahead and take a look down here and make sure you have that answer of 79 degrees somewhere. If it's true, go ahead and just cross it out. Okay? This is homework tonight as well, but this one I'm going to give you until Wednesday to complete. So again, this is due on Wednesday, which is the 2nd. So make sure you start it if you finish your other page, but it's not due until Wednesday.